Alright, so welcome to Earbuds. I'm Christian.
I'm Pablo.
Today we're going to just be talking about basically social media and kind of our thoughts about it, why we have certain ones, why we don't have other ones, why we post and things like that. So, I'll kind of start it off. The only thing I really have that I'm on all the time is Twitter and Instagram. So things like Facebook and Snapchat, and there's something else out there I don't know, but that's all I really have.
See, I started getting into Twitter, and at the time it was still early when it was like first starting off.
I'm honestly proud of the fact that like my Twitterversary is like 10 years. Like
That's
I got it in like 2008. Like when people were like, "What's this bird on my phone?"
No, yeah. And so with me, like I got one, and I never really got into it. I more got into Instagram and I got into Snapchat. Although Snapchat, I'd say it's seen its better days, and I just don't really post as much as I used to. Now it's just more like to keep up with my friends and just to see what they're doing. And I don't know. I don't know what your opinion is on it.
I used to have Snapchat, but I had it kind of like in its, I wouldn't even say early stages, because I actually heard about Snapchat like a couple years before I got it. But let's just say, I don't know, like 4 years ago is when it like really popped off.
Yeah.
So I had it when it used to say like, these are your top 3 best friends and all that stuff, just because you sent them the most photos and things like that. And honestly, it was just kind of for me like, I don't know if it's that I enjoy texting, or I'm just like, we're that age where texting is like number one to us. But I hated the fact that anybody who I Snapchat with wouldn't text me then. Like we would have like a conversation going on in text message, but they'd want to keep a streak going or something like that. And so I would have to Snapchat them, and I realized like they would Snapchat me constantly, but my text messages, like they wouldn't respond to a text message until like 5 hours later. And it was just pissing me off because I'm like, respond to my message. Like I don't need to see your face just to keep a streak going. Like respond to this.
See, I was more a fan of like the fact that you can send videos through there.
Mm-hmm.
I love like just face-to-face interaction, and so like although it's not completely FaceTime, like I feel like it was like face-to-face for a little bit.
I agree with that, but in my head, like, like FaceTime, like for me, like it's something continuous. So if you're gonna like chat with me face to face, then I'd rather it be live, like in that moment. I hated the fact that like I'll ask you a question. Let's just say I will send it to you like, a face message. That sounds stupid, but like, a Snapchat obviously, but it's like a video message. And then it's weird because I hear you like responding to me, but it's 10 minutes later whenever I decide to open the video. So I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, hey Pablo, like what are we doing later?" And then I wait like 15 minutes and I get a Snapchat. "Oh, dude, I'm not sure. What are you thinking?" And I'm like,
what did I say?
What did I say? I forgot what I sent to you.
No, yeah, I understand where you're coming from there. I've just, like I said, I've just always loved the like face-to-face interaction.
I think definitely for me, after that infamous update that happened.
Ooh, that was terrible.
Whenever Snapchat, like, I guess blended everything into like basically one page for you, and it just like everybody was confused on how to run it. I didn't even attempt to do it. As soon as that happened, I just deleted my app, and I never looked back on that one.
Yeah. So what's another social media that you're on?
So I love Twitter personally, and I don't post that often. I think that's where I get most of my news from. So I'll follow like certain media outlets and things like that I find trustworthy, or people that I find interesting to keep up with topics that I like. So if it's like movies, I'll follow certain directors. If it's politics, I'll follow certain politicians, things like that. So I feel like I get a lot of news from there that like keeps me up to date with current events, things like that.
And that's how I feel everybody's getting their news these days, because whenever I ask people, I never hear anybody say that they were watching TV or anything like that. I hear a lot of like, "Oh yeah, I was watching Netflix," and I personally get my news from social media, whether it's like Instagram or, like you said, just people that you follow and that you just know will give you good information.
I definitely think the demographic, if you looked at that, would be higher age for news, and as you go down, it'd be like social media is the way people get it. But yeah, I love Twitter. I love that, and so one of the things that like, I guess something that I always feel like is an issue that I have with Twitter is that I don't really post at all. Like, I feel like I'm on Twitter to get news, but I don't put anything out there. And I kind of sometimes feel weird about it, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know if it's like, I feel like what I say doesn't really matter to people, so what's the point? But, you know, I'll see people tweet all the time that are like personal friends, and I won't like it because it's not to like throw shade or anything. It's just, it wasn't important enough to me to like or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, in a sense, I'm like, why are you putting anything out there if like no one really cares? So in my head, I don't ever think I have anything that important to say. Or if it is important to me, then I'll say it to people like out loud in person. I won't ever really post anything on there. So I guess that's one thing that I look down upon personally myself, is the fact that I don't post anything. But you're not really on Twitter. You kind of hopped off on that one. But no, we both have Instagram.
Yeah, we both have Instagram. And I'd say the thing with Instagram that I just love is it's kind of like a new updated Facebook. I was on Facebook for a little bit, but I just got tired of the updates, and especially with the whole like security thing that they had, giving out, you know, a lot of people's information. And so I'm kind of glad that I left before any of that happened. And so with Instagram, I just keep up with my friends. I didn't like that they copied Snapchat with like their whole story thing.
It's actually catching on though, from what I've seen. Like, people use their story a lot. I like Instagram a lot too. I have a Facebook, or I had a Facebook, but I was never really active on it. Like, it's not one of the, like, I probably went from MySpace and kind of skipped over Facebook and then went to just like, you know, Twitter, Snapchat, and all that stuff.
Yeah, because every time I'm with you, you're always on Twitter. So
yeah, and so, but through Instagram, I think for me, it's the opposite of like what Twitter is, in the sense of like Twitter, I'm just getting a bunch of knowledge and facts and finding out current events. And I think Instagram for me is really the way I keep up with friends and family and things like that, because that's not really talking. Like, yeah, you can put a caption on it or a comment, but it's really short and sweet, like a sentence, or just like, you know, you favorite it or like it and like say hearts to like whatever it is. But you're really just seeing a picture of a moment of someone or something that you care about that you can enjoy. And I think that one for me is that one is the one to like enjoy and connecting with friends, compared to me for Twitter, which is more so keeping up in current events and things
so
like that.
So in your opinion, what's like a big downside that you would see from like Instagram?
I think from Instagram is the only downside I can really see, maybe. And it's not really even a downside. It's just more so the fact of what it is. But I think it's kind of in a box where it's never going to become more than what it is, which is why I think it did add like stories to make it kind of like Snapchat, because Instagram is post a photo, people like your photo, people can comment on your photo. That's it. There's no like, yeah, you can get current events, I guess, but like through a photo, but there's not really that much like content to it, except for like the little bit that they put underneath or anything like that. So I think that's the one issue I see with it, is that Instagram's always just going to be post your photo here kind of thing, and there's not really much else that can come up from it. But
I don't know, I'd feel like my main thing, I guess the reason I never really got into social media or anything like that, like I am on it every here and there, but I like just more face-to-face conversation. And so the other day I actually saw it was like a small little commercial thing for Facebook. And I just really loved it, because it said that the best part about Facebook is not on Facebook. And so that's pretty much just that's them like telling you to like go out there and like just live your life. And obviously that's how you're going to be able to post more and do this, you know, do more, I guess, post more with that. And so I really like that. And so in my personal opinion, I'm just not a big fan of social media. And I just wish we would all go out there and just interact with each other more.
See, I think, I guess maybe in a way I'm a hypocrite when it comes to social media, but I have always been more of a private person where, you know, if I want to like share things with you or things like that, I would do it with you, like I said, over text or something like that, like something personal, one-on-one. I'm not saying it has to be in person, because I'm not the kind of guy who's like, we need to talk, and they're like, okay, tell me, and I'm like, nah, in person. That's not me. I'm the guy who's like, we need to talk, and I'll send you the text right then and there. But I've always been a private person, so I don't really want like strangers or people who don't really keep up with me knowing what I'm up to. Like, I'm like, if you want to know, then talk to me. And I'm more than open to talk to people.
Yeah.
But as far as like, Jimmy from, 3rd grade, like if Jimmy from 3rd grade wants to know what I'm doing now, then Jimmy from 3rd grade can like hit me up and we'll hang out and talk about it. But
at the same time, like, isn't that like inconvenient for people? Like,
yeah,
he wants to know what you're up to, but obviously, like you said, you know Jimmy since 3rd grade, and y'all haven't even talked since 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And so, like, how does that come up? Like, how does he talk to you? Like, he can't just like.
Well, that's what I think social media is, though. I think it's a platform to stay connected, but I don't think that has to stay as your connection. I think it's more of a medium. So, if we're going back to whoever the heck Jimmy is, but like Jimmy can like find me through Facebook. I don't have Facebook, but find me through Twitter, find me through Instagram. Jimmy can like hit up my DMs and be like, bro, it's been so long. Like, here's my number or whatever. Like, hit me up, or at least like we'll chat. Even if they don't live here anymore. Like, let's just say Jimmy moved to Florida and we're still here in Texas. Like, at least like we can get a number and talk to each other like personally, instead of like going back and forth like through comments on each other's pictures or something like that. So I see it more as like a medium to connecting to people, more so than like a whole. That's the only way we can stay connected, because I think it obviously made us all more connected, because a lot of people in the past, like older times, like I don't know, 50s and 60s, once you grow up, you lose contact with those people. They're basically gone. Like, maybe you can try Yellow Pages or phone book or whatever it was they used to do back then, but it's a lot different for us. But I don't think it has to be the way we stay connected. I think it can be the way that helps us stay connected
as well. I mean, like I said, I've always just been a person, face-to-face person, and so I love to like just go out and meet new people, and so that's where most of my connections come from. And so I can see what you mean by like everybody interacting, by hitting somebody up on Facebook or that. But like I said, I've never been a big fan, and I probably, from the looks of it, probably never will. And so I just want to know your opinion on it.
The funny, I think it's good. But I agree with you. I think it shouldn't keep you from going out. That's why I tell you like same thing, like kind of what you're saying, like that's the same way I feel. Like you're saying like I'd rather go out, meet face to face, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like I told you before, it doesn't have to be face to face for me, but I would like a more personal touch than a tweet or something like that. So that's kind of how I see it. I see it as like, yeah, it's good and all that, but I think we should still keep our lives like outside of social media, which is why I'm not like that prevalent on it. Like, of course, like I said, we both get on it every day, but as far as posting my stuff, like I am like out and about and with people. And I think, like you said, that's what we need to do, because I hate that whole like we're all at a table, 5 of us, and for some reason all 5 of us are on our phones looking down, even though all 5 of us are here like facing each other.
I've always hated that. And I saw like, scrolling through my feed and this and that. I saw a post once about like, friends would like go out to lunch and everybody would put their phones like in the middle of the table. And whoever like touched their phone first would have to like pay for dinner. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is a great idea.
That is a cool idea.
But at the same time, like, I wouldn't want to do it because that's a hefty. I mean, it could be it could be a big bill.
I think,
depending on how many people are.
I think I would be down to do that if we found something else that was more. I wouldn't say accessible is not the word, but just the ability to do it for everyone. Because we're college students, so we make enough money to get by. The fact that we're even at lunch means we're probably going to be broke right afterwards. So I think
it means hot ramen for like
that means
2 weeks.
Yeah, Maruchan and all that stuff. So I think like I would agree with like finding deals out like that, but I think we have to adapt it to like our lifestyle. So maybe it's I don't even want to say that. I was going to say that person has to drive, but that's gas money. Jesus, that's gold.
That's
but yeah, no, I agree. We'll figure that out on the side. But I agree. I think social media is important, but I think that's the reason I'm not on it, and I see that's kind of the reason that you're not on it. We're just kind of like, we still want to have lives outside of social media. And everybody's always going to say, like, we all have lives outside of it. But I've been to so many places where instead of being in the moment, and I get it, like, get your photo and things like that, but, so there's a lot of people that, like, instead of being in the moment of, like, at a show or at an event or things like that, they're like trying to get the perfect like photo. And so they're like sitting there like
always bugged me.
And it's fine. Like I said, I'm fine with you if you take like one photo, like we tried it. But the best one in my opinion is a video, because in a video you are enjoying it. But those people who have to like pose and I take another one, take another one, take another one, take another one. I'm like, just like,
I can't do that.
Take the photo and let's like have fun. Let's
just hire a photographer.
I want to hear. I want to hear the song. I want to hear like, you know, I don't want to have to like sit here and take your photo 20 times because you're not happy with it because it's not Instagram worthy. That's my point. So I think at the end of the day, like, it's a good thing, but I don't even think you need to have moderation, because if you're bored for 10 hours, then you're bored for 10 hours, and you're at home for 5 hours, then you're at home for 5 hours. Like, get on it. But if you can go out and you are going out, then try to make it a point to keep it separate, just so you can enjoy real life for a little while.
I mean, I can see your view on that. Like I said, I've just never been a big fan.
I agree. I mean, I would say I'm neutral, because I wouldn't want to not have it, but I don't want it to consume my life either. And I personally don't post things often at all. If I do, it's very rarely. If it's either a retweet or something small like that. As far as like my own content, I haven't done that yet. But I don't know. One day we'll see. We'll see what happens.